Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Everton have been linked with Brazilian left-sided centre-back Nathan from Real Betis, former Napoli defender, 24 years of age. He is or has a price tag of around £26 million. Other Premier League teams have been linked with him as well, but the player and his attributes would seem to fit exactly what Everton need at the moment. Everton probably now need to go definitely into the market with the situation with Jared Branthwaite and just going forward, Tarkowski's age, Michael Keane, being in, again, 1 year contract or his age as well. Everton need to be looking at getting some youth into that back line, or certainly someone who's in the middle part of his career. And this player seems to tick all the boxes. Obviously, to play for Real Betis, play for Napoli means you must be a good player. Of course, physicality of the Premier League is much different, but we've seen other players come in to the Premier League around that age. Brazilian defenders have got a certain quality about them as well. And, for the price and the age, they seem to fit the bracket perfectly. So, and if we were to bring someone in, you'd hope it would be a left-sided player, because it would give us a balance then as well to that defence, which I think we've been missing. So I think for a while you looked at that defence and thought, well, yeah, it's fine. But then very quickly, it's turned around without Branthwaite, and you look at it now like it needs changes. It needs a massive overhaul, really. In the full-back positions and probably another centre-back. So this is a very interesting link. We'll have to see how this develops, but very, very interesting link. Ticks a lot of the boxes, as I said. So let's see what happens. January isn't that far away, and I think Everton must bring in players in January. And that could also include Gabriel Jesus, who's obviously been linked with Everton a lot in the last couple of months. He has told Brazilian media outlets that it looks like he'll be going out on loan. He's got a year and a half on his deal left at Arsenal, but obviously with his injury problems, he's not really getting into the side, and obviously Arsenal are doing very, very well, top of the league. He could be someone for just the back end of the season that could maybe come into Everton and again solve a problem that we have at the moment. We all know the striking situation is the main issue at Everton Football Club. It's absolutely huge. It's really dented our chances, top half chances. Really, I don't think there's any chance we can finish top half if we're not scoring goals. It's not possible. Even if we were keeping clean sheets every week, we just don't score enough goals. And we don't have that consistent performer who scares the opposition, that the opposition have to be worried about. It's just not there. We have a lot of the ball, we create chances, but no one puts the ball in the back of the net with a consistency. One goal in the Premier League from both of our strikers this season is very, very poor. Very, very poor. In fact, 2 goals if you include the cup competitions. It's a major, major problem. And David Moyes spoke to the media on Sunday after the game, some of the radio stations, and said that it was a huge concern, the amount of goals that the strikers have got. And apparently he's desperate for a striker. He didn't actually say that on there, but there's other reports saying he's desperate for a striker. And Ivan Toney could be that striker if he is available. There's reports today suggesting that Everton would definitely be in the market for Ivan Toney if he did come available. There's also another theory that if Ivan Toney come available, that Spurs might go for him, and if Spurs went for him, then possibly that could mean Richarlison would be available. Again, that would be another option. But Everton have to sort that out. There's no way we can go to the end of the season with these 2 players, because Barry, of course, is trying to find his feet in the Premier League and looked a little bit better when he came on at the weekend. But we've said that before. When he's come off the bench going, oh, he looks a little bit better. And then he started the next game and been very poor. And then the cycle continues with him and Beto. So it's worrying that we're saying that in October. Barry, of course, has got time and probably should be a forward at the time, but not having that cover next to him who's going to put the goals in consistently and do the job that we needed to do is very, very worrying. Very, very worrying, I think. If you can't score goals, then how are you going to do anything? And then if you can't score goals, then it all becomes about just defending. And then we know what happens then. You become a team that is just negative and is always trying to play behind the ball and always playing deep. And we saw what happened with that 12 months ago. You go into games and you might get beat 1-0 and be sort of happy that you've been beaten 1-0. So Everton have to find a way. They have to find a way to start scoring goals. That's David Moyes' biggest job now. I think the back line can sort itself out. But the forward situation has to be some kind of change to get more out of the players we've got. And that includes Njai, and that includes Jack Grealish, and that includes the midfielders, whether it's bringing Carlos Alcaraz into the team, I'm not sure, but something has to be done anyway, I think. And certainly adding to the squad is hugely important in January. And finally, some people may have noticed when they left the ground on Sunday, especially if they left from the south stand, that there was a very, very noisy sound. It wasn't the DJ, although that was very, very noisy and very strange. There was a helicopter behind the south stand on the dock, I think on the Nelson dock, where normally there's like police vans and stuff. There was actually a helicopter there. A lot of people saying a lot of different things. Whose it was, Farhad Mashiri or whoever else. Someone invested in the club, whatever. Apparently, according to Liverpool Echo, it was Dan Freakin's family, namely his wife and his daughter, were that was their helicopter, and they were being whisked away after the game. Not sure why his family were there. I'm not sure why Dan Freakin wasn't there or whatever else, but apparently it was their helicopter. So, sign of the times down at Hill Dickinson, really, isn't it? Would you expect anything different? No, I wouldn't be expecting anything different. So, it is very much the sign of the time. DJ sets on the concourse, hearing mad beats with 10 minutes to go in the game, and helicopters to take our owners away. So there you go. Anyway, this has been the Everton News Daily. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, join us over on Toffee TV Premier. The link is in the description. QR code's on the screen now. See you later.